Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. As I've been laying out stuff and showing all of this kind of stuff and how I've got all this miracle together, I've been relating about how I can give out information. Elite rich governments, military, secret groups and societies, they always want to hold something and keep it away from you and pretend that it's super secret. You don't need you can't do anything with it. Jeez. Anyway, the next phase of what I need to show here so that people start understanding that I am talking a complete system here. Occupy ISS, International Space Station. Your first thing to do, of course, is to start building shuttles that are life ships. These life ships get you and belongings and supplies and people and animals and whatever into space. Okay, now once you get up there, okay, the very first couple of these is going to be a little bit tough to do this, and we'll probably somebody's going to have to be building stuff down here. But once you're up there and you've got a few of these up there, you have basically what I'm going to show you here is a quick conversion to a space taxi. Okay, my quick little simple drawings here, but I'm not wasting a lot of time on this because it's only a 15-minute video, folks, and who knows if anybody's even listening, right? Here's your space shuttle shape. It gets up there out in space. It, by now NASA Space Shuttle technology, it has no real engines and mode of transportation. It can't do anything. It can't get you anywhere. When you get up there and you've got back here, you've got my boilerplate engine system. Now, you had a huge tank of water as a reaction agent up here. If you jettison that, okay, that's it either is retrievable or it disintegrates on the way back. There's not much you can do about that, but you still have all the connections on the bottom side of that shuttle to hook some kind of fuel tank there that has, if nothing else, simple wads and wads of moon dust. Scoop it up with a shovel and throw it in a bucket, because when it hits that hot plate, it's going to eject as a high pressure, high reaction state material ejecting out the end, and you're going to have the ability to go somewhere. But you have basically the original designs of the space shuttle had little tiny jets for kind of maneuvering it and twisting and turning and rolling it, and it couldn't do a whole lot in a hurry. So what we're going to do is we're going to have basically, you got two long arms here. Basic iron, which is kind of heavy, so I don't suggest using that when we're building them down here. But aluminum, tempered aluminum, very good for this, okay? Because all it is it's going to be a structural support. Here's your wing, okay? Here's the wing. You're going to clamp one piece on the bottom and one on the bottom, one on the top. They actually clamp together. You don't have to do any drilling, any integrity loss to the space shuttle, bar one or two here for a second. But other than that, to put these on, there's going to be an arm coming out this way. Now, what I was going to try and draw here, which I realized very quickly was not worth the time, is you got this top one here, okay, and you're going to have a jet that points up that way. You're going to have a jet that points forward, okay. You're going to have a jet that points back up and one that points back if you want to, although with these engines here, because they are hot mass reaction engines, hot mass, yeah, HM, HMS. Yeah, anyway. Sorry. Got to play with those words and those bits and pieces. But anyway, you got the engines going there, and then you would have at least one going up. Okay? You have that on the top, you have that on the bottom. Okay? You there have 6 engines there, and then this arm coming out here, you're going to have a pivot so that you can literally flip and rotate your entire shuttle and spin it. These wings are nothing but pretty stuff out there. If you go to land back on Earth, then yeah, you need the wings, but out in space they don't make any difference. There's no friction to worry about, so it doesn't matter how bulky, clumsy, odd, and stuff like that. This stuff looks, what you need to do to be able to put them on, you're making one simple L arm here. Okay, it's going to be closer probably to a T because you're going to want that up a ways in the arm there. And you have, if necessary, and once we get enough stuff up into space, we can be building nuclear power plants up there, where it's a lot safer to be playing with nuclear equipment and nuclear waste. But you have a nuke plant on it that powers all of those. It can be routed to use a nuclear power plant that is in your shuttle. It's going to connect to a feed tank that just clips onto the bottom of the space shuttle, so you don't have to worry about it. It's fed from there. Okay, it's got all the fuel needed is going to be on the underside of your shuttle. On the top of your shuttle, you've got that nice little cargo bay up there, and because these can be placed wherever on those wings, they can be far enough out from the actual center of the craft, the actual fuselage, that those bay doors can open 100%, and none, especially these 3 here, none of these jets are going to get in the way. What do you end up with? Well, you end up with, where's my number there? 10, possibly 11 jets, maybe more. I gotta stop and count how many I actually got all here now. I was thinking about all the rotational needs and stuff. But you now have a totally functional space vehicle that can literally go to the moon. It could go to the moon, and because you're not doing anything to interfere with its landing gear, it could actually probably land, put down its wheels, and just do a direct straight down drop. It doesn't have to come in on any kind of runway. You can make tanks up there, you know, or jettison the tank and come down, and somebody else goes up and pulls the tank down. It doesn't matter. But you now have a ferry system between everything in your near space area. The theoreticals of something like that, being able to be packed with food and supplies and do the, what is it? I think it's like 6 weeks with a one gravity constant drive to get to Mars. Maybe it's 7 weeks. You can literally go to Mars and back, you know, in 15 months. That's what, you know, I mean, in 15 weeks. That's what, 3 months? 4 months? 4-month turnaround to go to Mars and back in a lifeboat. Yeah. So that's why I say you need to stop and really pay attention to what the possibilities are. You need to understand that I am, because these plans are very old in the back of my head, and I'm updating them with all the stuff that I'm accessing right now, here and now, 100% feasible. You get up there, what's one of the most common things that asteroids, meteorites are found? Iron. Well, there's your iron bars. You start grabbing iron bars and start building your smelting system. The first thing you do, you build these. What do you have when you've got 100 companies building, or 100 countries, either way, 100 companies or 100 countries, building one of these a month, and you can start leaving these up in space. You can also take the entire internet system, which is going to collapse because everything on the planet is in disarray, disorder, storms, volcanoes, earthquakes, viruses, bacteria, all this stuff is destroying the infrastructure that humans rely on. So your internet system right now, which is totally planetary based, will collapse. And when that collapses, you will not have any kind of inter-country commerce. Multinational commerce will start dissolving because you don't have any way to facilitate what it takes except on very small local levels. The guy living near the border is going to do business across the border because it's all hand transactions and paper and computers that they can show each other what they got written on their computers if the computers are still up. But the internet's not there, so you can't do fund changes from London to Istanbul to Russia to Washington D.C. to the Philippines to Hawaii. You can't do that. Your internet has collapsed. You got enough of these things up there? How long do you think it'd take for us to station 200 or 300 of those around the planet, beaming down? And I'm pretty certain if we get some people together, I mean, satellite phones in the 1970s were big suckers. But you took them into the middle of the Amazon and you made a phone call because you had the entire setup right there. What do you think somebody is smart enough to start making a small, even just a small laptop that has enough transmitter power to get up to our satellites up here and allow anybody anywhere on the planet to interface with an internet that, unlike United States or China or England, censors people? No, you just keep building more memory cells. Let people figure out for themselves what's true, what's not true. Let people like me that can take something that's false and find something better out of that falsehood, that mythical lie, and turn it into something that actually feasibly works. Okay? There is so much possibility that only governments, religions that want you to all die so they can go to heaven, and people, elite, wealthy, rich, that want you to believe that, and I doubt you can see all my little notes, but you can probably see some of the little colors and stuff here. The idea of getting stuff up, a comment here, first generation, use the ship's nuke plant. Sure, no problem. We just hook it in and it runs that. It doesn't matter. It's automatically there. Maybe that's going to be better than putting your own separate little nuke power plants on each set of wings, and then you've got 3 nuclear power plants on one of these space shuttles, and they can be all the way out by Pluto, and they've got 3 power plants that depend. Any one of the 3 will get them back to Earth, back to moon base. Okay? So there is logic in using multiple systems. There is logic in also what I say here, get a repair and workshop up there. Right now, ISS is leaking, and somebody's comment was they're using a rag to try and stuff the hole. I told NASA, at least when the Challenger explosion happened in 2003, I sent them an email saying, why don't you have a workshop up there yet? I have continuously made comments and things in that direction and have gone to them through emails and whatever. Nobody has any kind of workshop up there on the ISS. Why? All the experiments. That's not a workshop. A workshop is hammers, drills, lathes, welding equipment, piles of raw material. Okay? They don't have that. Why? Because they don't want you to think about freedom up there. So this is a way, this whole thing gets you up there. Like I said, I've got all kinds of issues and ideas and things that I can put together here. Donate to me, subscribe to me, share this around, tell people. Operation Snowball, Occupy ISS is a full-blown revolution.